Ashley, let's go to the hotline, and let's bring in the head coach of the playoff-bound Fort Worth Northside Steers. We are joined by Coach Joseph Turner. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing excellent. I imagine that maybe this Monday is a little different than a few past other Mondays, huh?
Yeah, it's a tad bit better. The morale is pretty high around here. We're having a good time.
Well, the reason, for those who don't know, Fort Worth Northside clinches a playoff spot with a 21-20 win over Fort Worth Polytechnic, and people may be saying, oh, well, okay, well, good for them. It's the first time since 1979 that the Steers are going dancing their first playoff berth, snapping 5A's longest playoff drought. Coach, I guess first and foremost, I want to know what was the feeling on Saturday when you guys were able to get that win?
I know for me personally, it was just a big sigh of relief. One point I made was that I wasn't able to go to the playoffs when I was in high school, and I let my boys know that, and I told them, this wouldn't just be a dream come true for you guys, but it's for me also. And everybody's bought in. Those guys are doing a phenomenal job, so we had a great time celebrating with each other.
What was the celebration like? I imagine there was a lot of hugs, a lot of high fives. I imagine it was a pretty wild rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, we had a game right after us, so we had to cut it short. So we didn't get to take pictures and everything like we really wanted to. But it was a whole lot of hugs, a whole lot of high fives, a lot of tears of joy.
Yeah, I can certainly imagine that. It's easy to see why. You're a guy who took over this program. You're in your seventh year there at Northside. I'm interested in how you've seen this program change. This is a program we mentioned hasn't had the kind of success that I know that they've been hoping for. But over the course of your time there, how have you seen this program change?
You got to excuse this, the school bell going off.
That's all right. No, I know you've got a day job.
Yeah, it's just building brick by brick, taking it day by day, and just keeping our heads down and working hard. I tell the boys all the time, don't ever pick your heads up and pay attention to what's good that's going on around here. Just keep your head down and keep working. There's so much more work to do, but the kids are bought in. Our middle schools are extremely successful, so we're getting a good start as to our kids when they come into the program. And we've been running the same systems for quite some time, so these boys are able to play a whole lot faster, and they're starting to play really good football, not just on the mental side. Not just on the physical side, but on the mental side.
You guys once again seems to be your MO this year, but you guys once again had to rally to beat Poly. I'm sure you guys would just love to coast to like a 63-0 win. That would be probably better for your health. But why do you think? What's been the secret for you guys in the second half? Why have you guys been so successful there in the second half?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure that out. I told them many times, you guys are going to give me a heart attack. And it may be the halftime speeches where we go in and, how coaches get. We have to say what needs to be said to get those guys going. But when their backs are against the wall, that's when they play their best. And unfortunately, it didn't kick in until the fourth quarter of this game. But it's been very exciting to watch. And we're just happy to give everybody, good games to watch. And we're putting up good points. And the defense is doing a good job. And it's been really exciting.
We're talking with Joseph Turner, the head coach of the Fort Worth Northside Steers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation in hashtag TF Today. All right, Coach, I want to talk about one of the guys that I think has been a real difference maker for your offense. You guys are up 10 points per game offensively this year, and one of the big reasons I think is your junior quarterback, Isaac Rosales, a guy who I think last year took his lumps, grew kind of on the job training for him. How have you seen him grow as a quarterback this year?
I'll go back to middle school. As an eighth grader, you can see that he had some ability to play the game. And his freshman year, we were able to keep him down at the freshman level, and he grew quite a bit, and we've been running the same systems. Last year as a sophomore, he went in and threw for over 1,200 yards and over 10 touchdowns. And you can see that the physical ability was there because he was making a lot of really good plays. But this year, everything is slowed down so much in regards to just him getting the plays in, getting the boys lined up where they need to be. And he even makes some protection calls when he needs to. And it's amazing to see him grow.
On the other side, your defense obviously was a key part of your big win over Polytechnic, and it's been a real kind of sturdy side of the ball for you guys. What is it about this defense that's working for you guys right now?
We just lined up and we're just playing ball. My defensive coordinator cut out a lot of stuff that we were trying to do at the beginning of the year, and we just get lined up and we read our keys and we do our best to get our stops. We try to take away the one or two best players that they have on the other side of the field, and everybody else just has to buy in and do their job. We're really focusing on buckling down and doing your job every play. And our Mike linebacker, Chris Smith, is leading the team right now with 101 tackles. He's doing a phenomenal job.
I'm interested in talking with coaches at programs like this that haven't had the kind of success that they're hoping for. I feel like it's always easy to motivate kids when they're winning. Say, hey, let's just go keep doing that. Wasn't that fun? This has been a program that we mentioned has struggled, has just snapped a 39-year playoff drought. How did you keep your kids motivated throughout the course of the year? Knowing the history and knowing that this has been a program that struggled. What's been the key for your motivation this year?
Well, it's kind of tough to pinpoint, what exactly it's been. We have a really strong junior class with some senior leaders, and we got a few sophomores that go in and do what they need to do. It really goes back to we did spring ball this past spring, and we sat down and we talked about a lot of goals that we wanted to accomplish, and we said if we're going to take this program to the next level, we need to have spring ball, we need to have summer workouts, we need to have 7-on-7, and then we need to have everyone bought in the fall. And guys have really stepped up and they've taken on their role seriously, and they're doing a great job of that.
So when we put together the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we get questionnaires from coaches. You turned in your questionnaire back then, and we appreciate it, Coach. Thanks.
No problem.
And one of the questions we ask people to predict their district finishes. And sure enough, 39-year playoff drought, you predicted that Northside was going to make the playoffs. And you're exactly right. How'd you know?
I have to give a special shout out to a kid. I knew he was going to make it because we got a kid named Dawan Lofton. He has over 1,900 total yards and 30 touchdowns in 9 games. Every game, he's been the best competitor and the best player on the field, and he's put us in position to win these games, along with the supporting cast of Isaac Rosales, the running back Jay Aguirre, and a solid defense and good special teams play. But Dawan, just having him grow and doing what he's doing, I knew that we can move him around quite a bit, and it would create some matchups, and that will win us some games. So Dawan is doing a phenomenal job.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he's just a sophomore, right?
Dawan is actually a junior.
Junior.
He has one more year.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you're sorry to have to bring him back next year. That's a problem.
If he can do what he's done this year, I'll be perfectly fine.
It's Joseph Turner, the head coach of Fort Worth Northside, joining us. Coach, the work's not done. Obviously, you guys have playoffs on. Excited about the playoffs, but there's still one more game to play. Thursday night, you guys are taking on Justin Northwest for, a share of the district championship. It's been even longer since Northside has won a district championship. I know you've been poured over film, taking a look at what you guys are up against in the Texans this week. I'm not going to ask you to give away your game plan, but when you take a look at what you guys are up against this week, what do you see?
We're up against quite possibly the best team that we're going to play all year. Northwest is very, very competitive. They carry a lot of kids on their varsity team, and they are very well coached. We're just lucky or very fortunate enough to be in this position to where we can play for or have a share of the district title. That's huge for us. That lets us know that we can actually go out there and compete at a high level and put ourselves into position to be successful.
And finally, Coach, I can't let you go without asking you. You're a guy who, those who don't know, you were a star there at Austin LBJ in the Austin area, and then you go on to TCU, where you were on those outstanding kind of late 2000s TCU teams.
Yes.
I just got to know, can you still go?
Not a bit. I'll give you about a good
on.
10 yards. Listen, I'll give you 10 yards of a good burst, and then that's all I got for you. I actually tweaked my knee a little bit running down the sideline with day one. I tried to keep up, but I had to stop myself.
So what you're saying is that you haven't lined it up with some of these kids and tried to maybe do 50 yards or something like that?
I may give him a 5-yard run in red zone on scout team, but I stick mostly to throwing the ball a little bit.
He's Joseph Turner. Yeah. He's the head coach of the playoff-bound Fort Worth Northside Steers. Follow him on Twitter at Joseph. Let's see. Let me make sure I get this right. Joseph Turner 24. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again. We're so thrilled for you guys. Best of luck Thursday and best of luck in the playoffs.
That's great. Thank you guys for having me.
There he goes, Joseph Turner, head coach, Fort Worth Northside Steers. I imagine this is the most publicity that Northside just in the past couple days.
Yeah.
This is like just there was an article in the Star Telegram about them. People are talking about them. It's been a minute, guys, since 1979. Coach literally was not born yet.
Yeah.
Last time Northside made the playoffs. Really, really impressive. And the turnaround there has been remarkable. And you know, I always admire coaches who are able to motivate kids in situations where those teams are just not winning. You know what I mean? That's the toughest thing.
Yeah.
And those are really tough programs to turn around. I've always said that staying at the top is easier than getting to the top. That climb can be really steep, especially with situations like there at Fort Worth ISD. Just making the playoffs is such a huge, huge boost for this program. And you know what? This is going to make them a lot more likely to make the playoffs down the road, just because they're going to be able to say, hey, guys, look, we did it. You can do it too. Sensational job from Joseph Turner and the Steer staff. They are playoff bound. We are thrilled for them. So congratulations, Coach Turner. Appreciate his time today.